Michal from Tantra movement.
Trisha Croft from Light of Lemuria.
Today we will give you the lecture about not only the Lingam Massage but also about the sublimation. Sublimation is bringing the energy up instead of losing, as we do normally in typical sex. Thankful days we learn how to make love longer, and it's really making love, not just sex. It's gonna be transforming it into the love, into the sacred sexuality method. Use it, don't lose it. We would share with you the tips about the Lingam Massage. We will share with you wisdom about 21 and 49 day challenge, the way how you can, through this practicing this method, use it, don't lose it, you can liberate yourself from sexual addictions, from running on desires, and you can start to make love from your choice of your heart, not from your urges. It's bringing the lovemaking into another level. So that's all what we will speak today. Afterwards, we will do, after the foot circle, we will do the practice of the Lingam Massage. I could talk at this lecture for hours and hours, and you can read a lot of books guiding you that maybe the ejaculation is not the best choice of making love. We have better one. That's what we offer you today. Today would be very powerful day because the men who also receive it through the practice, this will motivate you much stronger through the experience. You will experience something beyond you already know. You may experience, I wish, the Tantric orgasm or other Tantric orgasms like perineum orgasms, and this will blow your mind, and this will motivate you to go deeper, go much more better in your lovemaking. Free yourself from running on desire, make it from your choice. It's a beautiful choice. We're happy to choose it both for a few hours daily, but we choose it like yoga people choose to go to yoga. They know it's healthy, it will bring them focus. This we choose because it's one of the most powerful spiritual practice, what is uplifting our self as individuals, but it uplifts also our relationship, and it uplifts somehow the humanity because we share beautiful things with you. This love, it's spreading. It's like sexual energy. It's one of the strongest energy we have. We create babies with it. Only God creates life. This is like godliness, goddess, God's energy become divine. And this energy we don't lose in Tantra. We cultivate, we learn how to transform it, not to lose it through the typical sex, through the ejaculation or through the clitoral orgasms by women, but bring it up, transform it into the love, bringing it up, transform it into the consciousness, become uplifted, not like after ejaculation losing the energy and darling, I go to sleep, I'm over, I'm so depleted. That's the scenario. After tantric lovemaking, you feel uplifted. You want to create the best pieces of your art, the best writing. You get wisdom from the universe. You are inspired. You are feeling like, yes, I have so much energy that I want to build a temple. I will share my happiness with you. That's what we are doing here today.
For me, it's funny because I mean, sex is beautiful, but I see with my friends, my dear friends that choose the path of the tantric path or sacred sexuality. And I mean, of course, they become amazing lovers in bed, because what happens is not only are they driven by here, this force, the vital life force just ends here. They bring it up to the heart where they become lovers. And you actually can feel it in lovemaking. As a woman, you can feel a man that sublimates or uses this energy where he marries his sexuality with his spirituality and his heart. And you can see them a mile away, or I can, because they radiate. They have this fucking energy. And this is why, you know, the monks used to use these methods, and they would be hundreds of years old and they would still be youthful. because they would never drop a seed. They would never release. And
Or sometimes.
of course, sometimes. I mean, it's impossible sometimes to be completely Zen master, but you can actually see it. And we want to teach this today. So men, you can be multi-orgasmic men. You can use this, and instead of the best 5 seconds of your life through ejaculation, you can have like 3 hours, or like I said, be completely multi-orgasmic for the rest of your life. So we'll teach you this now.
This method is also very the same, equally useful for the woman, so it's for both of you. The woman also lose the energy through the clitoral orgasm. They also through the clitoral orgasm you are hooked into running on desires. You depleted with the energy. You don't lose so much energy, but still Tantra is about not to lose the energy, but to uplift yourself and to free yourself from running on desires. This wisdom is for both of you.
And it's for women, it's allowing, if you've been to our other lectures, it's allowing you, instead of just having a clitoris orgasm, which is the best maybe 2 seconds of your life, you're able to feel the other orgasmic spots in your body where you can become a goddess. Yeah, you really do become a goddess, and not just, oh, goddess, hi, how are you? Really fucking know what it feels like to be a true inner goddess, to feel Shakti rippling through you. So we invite you today, we're going to teach you a beautiful practice as well of the 21-day challenge and the 49-day challenge.
We're gonna guide you into use it, don't lose it method, now more concrete, how to do it, and basically today we will go deeper than on some of our workshops. We will explain also the spiritual aspects, how this method make for us one of the strongest spiritual practice. For me, it's one of the 3 most beautiful gift I received from universe, and I keep receiving it. I wish you will have benefits from applying this into the life, even better than I have, but I think it's nearly impossible. Everyone can learn that and can practice it, can master it, and benefit for the rest of your life. I like to experience new things, check what people talking about. I experience most of the things what are available on so-called spiritual market. All medicine. I'm Kundalini yoga teacher. I choose it from many yogas, but still nothing for me. It's even comparable to the power and benefits what I get from that method. I even say repeating it publicly. If someone will give me something what is comparable, I'm ready to give all my belongings because I know it's worthy.
And you see in spirituality, you see so much new age shit coming through, or we always forget to go back to basics, go back to the ancient ways, the basics of chakra meditations and sublimation and coming back. This is more important than all this new age fluffy foo-foo shit.
For us, yeah, do whatever please you, yes. It's everywhere is beauty. I enjoy so many things like water tantra, watsu. I love some yoga. We love some medicine, but this is really.
So we come back to basics, and what I say by coming back to basics is knowing thyself. So of course, we want to activate this vital life force. We want to activate the Kundalini, and being able to will it. This is the true power, or the true mastery of self, and willing this into Godhead and using it to create for the good. And this is why Kundalini, opening the chakras as well, learning thyself, how to open the chakras at will, closing them, how to understand every part of you.
Let's go to the concrete. So here is energy, what is felt in the body as ecstasy. Here is the time. This is typical sex for mainly the man. This is typical sex mainly for the woman if she's lucky to get enough foreplay. This is one of the way of tantric lovemaking, what we call wave orgasm, and we will guide you how to achieve this by using this sublimation method, what we call use it, don't lose it, and we're gonna guide you right now about it. Similar method is called in sexual Dao microcosmic orbit. Maybe some of you heard about or practice. You can refer to that. In a typical sex, we are so keen to start the penetration that the men, usually, that for them the foreplay doesn't have to exist. But we read in some sexual books that the woman may need some foreplay. Yes, so we do. But in average, less than 10 minutes, and this is too little for the woman, especially for her yoni, to have beautiful experience. And these have consequences I will explain you soon. One of the great golden advice, I will give you a few golden advices here, beside of use it, don't lose it, is in total also golden advice. One beautiful thing we do in Tantra is we let the woman to decide when the foreplay should go into intercourse. These have tremendous benefits. It's like 180 degrees difference. One of the most cases, some of you learn at the yoni massage lecture or practice as well, that one of the main causes of that the yoni have to be healed, that the woman have to have unblocked sexuality and so on, it's that the woman felt hurt by unaware forced penetration. She felt too closed, too dry, there was too much friction and too much pain, and after this experience being repeated few times, she started to develop the armor, she started to put over protections over her, what is felt as a either over exaggerated pain or either as a numbness. In both cases, women withdraw from the sexuality and do it very often just as an obligation for the partner. When we give enough foreplay to the woman, we heal that situation. We rebuild the trust towards men, towards penetration, towards sexuality. She will open as a flower towards sexuality if you just give her enough foreplay. You will become a healer, not traumatizer. 180 degrees difference.
One thing too, and I see this all the time with my clients, if I'm training couples or training yoni massages, and it brings a tear to my eye because you see the woman come in, she comes in as a woman, and when she's lying there and going through her sexual liberation or going and opening, I mean, we call it the yoni, the flower, yeah, but the yoni and the woman starts to open, and she starts to open and flower herself, and I watch these women turn into goddesses over a period of a couple of hours. I say this to you men, to watch the women and give her that foreplay, because I tell you what, you'll see a woman transform into a goddess, and once you see it, you'll never want to see anything but that. Yeah, even brings me to tears to see it. It's the most beautiful thing to see. Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps.
Brothers, knowing this, please always give the woman enough foreplay. Sisters, knowing this, always demand from your man enough foreplay. He would also benefit from it. You may have better experience. Very often people, couples dream about to have simultaneous orgasm. You will start from the same wave of ecstasy and you may have it easily. However, yes, simultaneous orgasm, it's still not tantric. It's maybe nicer experience when you flow together nicely. In Tantra, when the woman will allow the man to go to the intercourse, excitement goes quickly up, but before so-called point of no return, the moment when the man or both of you or one of you will feel that you will ejaculate, the woman may have clitoral orgasm, yes. The moment before that, we call it point of no return. After the point of no return, we lose the energy and we lose through the ejaculation, through the peak orgasm, clitoral orgasm. And what happened next? In my case, very often it's like, darling, I love you so much, but now I have to go to sleep. And before she responds, I'm already. So I lose so much energy. Yeah?
And for the women, it's the same too. We actually are not really that interested or not as hot as what we were beforehand. So yeah, we can have a couple of clitoris orgasms, but they're never going to be the same as the first one, and we do lose the energy.
In Tantra, before this point of no return, we start to do this method, use it, don't lose it. This method have 3 components happening in the same time, interconnected with each other. So it's a PC muscle, the breath, and visualization. So now in details. Another golden advice about the training the PC muscle. PC muscle is the muscle what we use to stop peeing. This is the most easy way to recognize that muscle. You go next time to pee and you force yourself a few times to stop peeing. And you recognize which muscles are you using. And when you recognize, when you're sure which muscles are you using to stop pee, you start the training. With the strong PC muscle, you shut the energy up much more efficiently. So that's why we're training it. You train it in the most simple and most popular way. You train it just by squeezing and relaxing. Like I'm doing it right now with my fist twice per second. I'm doing it actually also with the PC muscle. You don't see it, I can still talk to you, so it doesn't take my attention. I can do it in any circumstances, when I read a book, when I brush my teeth, when I speak to you about it, I can do it. So it doesn't cost me nothing, but it gives me tremendous benefits. Not only in the sexual aspects, what we discuss and share with you here. They use it for the energetical reasons in Tai Chi, in Qigong, in yoga, for the same reason, to shut the energy up instead of losing it. So it can give you a lot of benefits about the health for the woman, for the man, for both of you, especially around this region. It may give you a lot of benefits on your self-esteem, your willpower. It may give you a lot of benefits on the relationship level. It may give you a lot of benefits on the mental level. I would say there is no better training of any muscle that can give you so much benefits, and in the same time is so easy. So you train it like this. You start 20 squeezes per approach and you do it 3 times a day. And then every day you add to every approach 10 more, till you will reach 100 per time, so 300 per day in total. It's less than 5 minutes. Then you continue for 1 month. I could bet with you for any price that after doing this for 1 month, you will be very happy for having that information. Your life will improve on many levels. And even if you will lose the bet for any price, you will be still happy. You don't have to believe me. You can bet with me afterwards, or you can just do and fund yourself. For the sexual aspects benefits, after the muscle is trained, the shutting of the energy is more efficient, so the method is more strong. With the PC muscle, we shut the energy up. With the breath, we suck the energy up. And with the breath, also it's good to learn here for that method and in general for lovemaking. The breath is like gas pedal in the car. In the same way how with slowing down your breath, you may slow down your fear, your anger, your sadness, your pain. In the same way how you can slow down those emotions, you can slow down your excitement. You may notice as close you are to the point of no return, naturally we breathe more shallow and we move more shallow and fast, like like we're chasing this orgasm. You can reverse this process by slowing down your breath, slowing down your movement. When you breathe deeper, your energy, ecstasy, is spreading further than just accumulating here. It's spreading to the other parts of the body, and you may feel the ecstasy more into the other parts of the body. So your tendency to experience the full body orgasm also increase with this. Knowing this, I would like to give you another golden advice about the breath. Just observe your breath as often as you remember about that. Yeah, you can do it when you wait for something. You can do it when you read a book. Any circumstances also easy. The third component is visualization. Why we imagine the things? Because the energy follows attention. You can imagine how you like. Green light ball, rainbow color steam. You can imagine as some colorful liquid, any color, any smoke, anything you feel, ray of sun, however you feel. So now all together, this is very essential because this is how we do it. So pay attention. Before the point of no return, with the breathing, you tie the PC muscle and you imagine the energy going from the genitals on the back of your spine to the level of the heart chakra, and then with the breath out, relaxing the PC muscle back to the genitals. Breathe in, tightening the PC muscle up to the heart. Breathe out, relaxing the PC muscle back to the genitals. Breathe in, tightening up to the heart. Breathe out, relaxing. You do maybe 4, maybe 6, maybe 7 of those circles. And in this way, this too much energy, what was ready to be exploded, you brought to the heart. So you are more loving, more connected with yourself, more loving, more connected with your beloved one. And what most important, you are far away from the point of no return. So you may continue with penetration or with the massage, as we will do today. And then again, when you continue, the excitement goes quickly up. And before the point of no return, you do the same method. Better too early than too late. You can see after 2 or 3 times doing it, you are much higher on the ecstasy level than in typical sex. The time is passing by. Usually the woman that loves us for time passing by.
Everybody, just close your eyes down for a second. We're just going to drop into a quick little exercise. Closing your energy down, focusing your energy on your sex and your heart now. Maybe place your hands on your heart and your sex. Just tuning in, connecting deep into that space. As you do, I want you to try and find your PC muscle. So the muscle that you stop yourself from peeing, just locate it. Maybe squeeze it a couple of times. Just activating. This is a spiritual muscle. Just tightening a few times. Most importantly, releasing, relaxing. So let's tighten the PC muscle all together. So tighten and release. And let's tighten again. And release. And tighten. And release. And now let's introduce the breath. So let's take a deep breath in as we tighten the PC muscle. And release. Tighten, breathing in. And releasing. And again, tighten the PC muscle, breathing in. And releasing. And I want you to now, let's follow my breath. So let's tighten. So breathing in and releasing. Breathing in and releasing. Breathing in and releasing. And let's add visualization. So let's bring a beautiful light up from the back of the spine up to the heart. And on the exhalation, bringing it back down to the sex. So let's all do this. So breathing in, tighten the PC muscle, visualize up to the heart. On the exhalation, bringing that light to the front of the spine down to the sex. So let's all do it together. Breathing in and releasing. Tighten the PC muscle, breathing in to the heart and releasing. And breathing in again. And releasing. Now keep this sequence going. I want you to follow my breath now. Let's breathe. Breathing in. Breathing in. Let's go a bit faster. Follow my breath. Faster. Faster. Tight. Bring it up to the heart. Shoot the energy up to the heart and hold. Hold the breath. Hold the breath at the heart. Opening the heart chakra. And when you can't hold it anymore, breathing out back down to the sex, relaxing the PC muscle. Breathe the energy back down, feed the sex. Bring it all the way down your legs, your body. Let's do it one more time. So following my breath, if you feel dizzy, just relax and go back to your natural breath. Those that want to practice, ready? So follow my lead, taking a deep breath in, tightening the PC muscle, shooting the energy up, visualizing, releasing. So let's all breathe together. Tight. Bring the energy up to the heart. Hold. And whenever you're ready, releasing. Bring it back down to the sex. Beautiful. So that's the practice. Well, that's the breath. So in lovemaking, so if you want to do this personally, you can do that practice by yourself. And also too, you can use this sublimation method through self pleasure. Of course, you want to practice probably first before a partner, so you can master thyself, understand thyself. But we use this in tantric lovemaking. Like Michal was saying, when you feel, we all know when we're gonna orgasm. We all know, because we, like Michal was saying, we start to breathe faster. We start to get a lot of energy accumulating here. Yeah. So when we get to about 70%, we don't want to go over 70% unless you're a Zen master and you can really shoot that energy and understand. Get to about 70% just before you're about to have a clitoris orgasm or a ejaculation. So we get really excited, and we call it edging too. If everybody's heard the term edging, I'm edging, I'm just about to come. So about 70%, that's when in lovemaking you'll go and visualize tightening the PC muscle, shooting that sexual energy, that vital life force up to the heart, the back of the spine, holding it, and then releasing on the exhalation. If you're really excited, and sometimes your lover might be doing a certain pose, maybe doggy style or something that is just very exciting, and you're very sexually turned on, you may want to do this a couple of times. Yeah, because you want to balance this energy. You want to be able to control this sexual energy. You don't want to go too far over. So that is the art in tantric lovemaking. And so if you're doing it with a sacred partner, you will just, what me and Michal will do, we will just, I'm edging. And that's the indication of stop what you're doing, slow down, and help your partner sublimate the energy. You know, you may want to go like this, so it helps them create, and you're back and forth with each other. So you can go on this beautiful orgasmic journey of hours of lovemaking. And trust me, men, you will last for hours. And sometimes you may have a soft cock, and sometimes you may have a hard. And in Tantra, we embrace soft cocks, because soft cocks can actually feel orgasms too. And so women remembering this too, when a man has a soft cock, it doesn't mean he's not into you, because sometimes we're conditioned. Sometimes if we know our man's hard, it's like, yeah, he wants me. And sometimes we're even conditioned as women. Trust me, before my tantric path, I thought if I could get the man to come, I've done my fucking job. Yeah. But in Tantra, we don't want to do that. We want to reverse that belief system. We don't want him to come. Trust me, we want him to be open in his heart. It's completely a new world.
Sometimes people are asking me question, and I would like to just answer it straight. You don't ejaculate at the end. You keep this energy. We will explain you what is best to do to bring it to the heart towards the end. Whenever one of you is coming to the point of no return, we can use the same signs what we use for slowing down for the boundaries. Slow down, it goes too far, stop immediately. I'm freezing, yes, you know, especially at the beginning in the lovemaking. Sometimes it's better to even withdraw yourself from the penetration, because especially if the woman is ovulating, then she would suck you out. She wants your seeds. It's a nature, and till you master it, then it's better to withdraw yourself. We use this piano signs, and strong piano, it means I'm really close to it, and then yes, we support each other. The person who is close to the point of no return, it's doing the method, and after 2-3 circles you go further, maybe after 4, 5, maybe 6. It's good to not to go too far, because we may lose direction. We don't want that, but if it happens, it's all good. Okay, I will explain you now spiritual aspects, benefits, how this method is so powerful for our relationship, for all aspects of our life, why, what it's making it so powerful. First spiritual aspect, it's freeing from desires. Many teachings, many religions are trying to implement into us this aspect, be free from running on desires. Tantra gives you this by living in abundance, not by suppressing your sexual energy, but actually by embracing it, and by this method. In typical sex, we always are cutted without us having any control in one of the best moments of our experience, yes? That's why especially the men who are lucky to experience it more often are more keen to run on desires, to chase the rabbit, to go further for more harder experiences, more stronger experiences. They never satisfied. They always chasing the rabbit. More hardcore porn, more multiply partners, more kinky stuff. It's maybe nothing wrong to do with kinky, but if you are running on desire, you will never satisfy. You will have to go further and further, and as higher you will go, then the hook to keep you in the attachment into addiction would be even stronger. With tantric lovemaking, we are making love as long we like. We are the one, or our partner suddenly feels like, okay, wow, it was so much, I'm so satisfied, I have enough, darling. And you are, of course, so much satisfied too, then you don't have this pushy energy anymore. You don't push for a little bit more. No, you are satisfied. You are free from running on desires. It's like how much amazing, even the best chocolate on the rainbow you could eat. In some moment you are fulfilled. And this gives you this freedom from running on desires. You start to make love from the choice, not from the urge, not from running on desires. And that's for the woman, it's like, wow.
With tantric lovemaking, I mean, compared to typical sex, it ends with an orgasm. You both know it's over, and you lie there and go, oh yeah, that was good. Maybe have a cigarette, whatever you light a joint. In tantric lovemaking, like Michal was saying, it can go on for hours and hours till you're completely satisfied, until you're full. So there is no ejaculation to know when to stop. And we always get asked this, when do we stop? Or, when do we know is the right time? You can go till sunlight. We go all night if you want to. But it's up to you. Your body will know. It'll just be radiating with so much energy. And after, when you finish, you just say, oh, thank you, darling. Thank you. But after, you'll have that much energy. Most of the time, sometimes we can't even sleep. We're that like, whoa, I need to create, I'm going to write a fucking book. There's so much creative energy going through our bodies that we're not tired, we're just constantly going. But that energy the sexual energy is always there. But like Michal said, it's not, we don't need or desire to need more, because an orgasm, it lasts for 5 seconds. Of course we're going to be chasing more because our bodies didn't get enough. We're so completed.
Another aspect is that through this so-called wave orgasm, you give the yoni or the lingam the chance to experience another tantric orgasm, like G-spot. In my case, today you may experience through the practice the perineum orgasm. And those are tantric by default. You don't lose the energy through those orgasms. You gain the energy. You feel uplifted by the energy. Like Trisha said, I had situations in my life that I had maybe 2 hours of sleep before night. I was really like, hey, after a long day, I want to just go to sleep. But she managed to spark the light. And after 2 hours of lovemaking, I don't want to sleep anymore. I'm full of energy, darling. Let's go, dance, and let's enjoy life. I'm feeling with this energy. You may even heal small headaches, small colds. And for sure it supports any way of healing processes. Of course, if you break your arm, you have to go to the surgery, but if you use this method and you send the energy to that arm, the surgeon can be surprised how beautiful, how quicker it healed.
Today, and especially this afternoon after Magic Hat, we're going to be doing the Lingam Massage, and hopefully you'll get to experience, well, I'm pretty sure you will, experience a perineum orgasm. We'll show you the $1 million point for the man, which is very ecstatic. I'm giving myself like goosebumps just thinking. And I'll teach you also to a prostate, which is the most orgasmic point as well for the man, to experience a beautiful orgasm. And in Babylon, there's the homophobic tendency not to go near the anus, but for the man, it's like a G-spot for the woman. I'll teach the technique. We'll give that for you for homework if you'd like to experience that as well. Nipple orgasms, guys, you are multi-orgasmic. It's not just ejaculation. And especially in the afternoon, I'll teach you guys so you guys can experience this. So you can understand and you can bring this home to your world, back into Babylon, sacred sexuality and all the multi-orgasmic points. And I'll teach you quickly before the Lingam Massage. We teach around about 20 different strokes for the Lingam itself. So not just the typical wanking move. I'll teach you all different techniques, and even the scrotum, perineum, everything.
With this method, you give enough time for those tantric orgasms to happen. That's why there is confusion by the woman, what we said. The woman sometimes is saying, oh, I don't have it, or there is some people think that doesn't exist. It's because in the typical sex, it's not enough time for those points to be activated. Even if they are healthy and don't need healings, they still need 20-30 minutes time of being on the high arousal to be activated. To make you understanding, I will tell you shortly my adventure with my perineum muscle. Perineum muscle is the muscle what is between the testicles and the anus. And I read in these tantric books about this perineum orgasm that is like wow, wow, wow. And I massage it. And you know what I feel? Yeah, I can be good masseur, so I can massage any part of my body and feel okay. Like now I massage my hand, okay, I feel okay. And that's only what I felt. So I was wondering, where is this wow, wow, wow? Is it something wrong with me, or these books telling me porcupines? One day, after all night physical work, the bicycle taxi in Amsterdam, I had only 1 hour to sleep before I supposed to give some workshop at some festival. And 1 hour sleep, I will feel tired more than without this 1 hour sleep. I fall. So I start to do it, something what gives me the energy. I start to self-pleasuring myself. And at this time, when I was on a high arousal, close to the point of no return, I start to massage my perineum. And then I start to feel it. Then it blow up my mind. I explore such a ecstasy, and it was fascinating to see that I don't lose the energy. It goes with this new perineum orgasm. It goes up, 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 wave after wave, like a next orgasm, and the next wave is higher, and then it's higher, and it never ends. It's like, wow, how much I can take. Whoa, it's like going on, and I don't need to use it, don't lose it method for that orgasmic feeling. New discovery. I felt much better than the Columb when he discovered America. By the way, he didn't discover nothing because native were there first. But I felt much better because I discovered something about my own body, what I can use till the rest of my life. I discovered a new dimension of ecstasy. So that's how the woman probably feels sometimes also when they have first G-spot or a cervic orgasm or any other new orgasms. It's like discovering new dimension of ecstasy, and with this, that it's not ending. It was like, wow. I wish all the men who will practice today, we will teach you how to do it. Basically, it's the method you got in my story already. When you are on high arousal, start to massaging it. Keep on doing it. If you do not come, if you do not lose the energy by the ejaculation, you will have this perineum orgasm activated. I like to explain another aspect. With these all other orgasms, you nourish your other chakras. Different points have nourishing your different chakras, and all together. All of yogi practitioners understand how is it important to nourish your chakras, to balance them, to bring the energy them, to open them. This is very spiritual, and this is what we are achieving by having this. Another spiritual aspect is thankful this beautiful method. You may experience one of the most powerful orgasms called cosmic universal orgasm, and with this orgasm you may not only start to feel allness within yourself, you may feel all the organs of your body, you may feel all the cells interacting in your body, flowing through your body. You may feel all your aspects of yourself, your feminine side, your masculine side, your divine, your animal side, everything as a one, allness, and you feel all yourself. It goes even further. It gives you to your relationship this beautiful sacred union, what we call in Tantra Maituna, that you may feel allness with your partner, oneness with your partner. You may feel everything what she feels, and she feels also the same way. When I touch her, it's not only me feeling how I touch her, I feel how she feels by being touched by me. All the joy, all the happiness, ecstasy, bliss, love, gratitude, what she feels, I can feel it. So it's like this energy circulates, and this gives to the relationships beautiful, beautiful connection, beautiful unity for their daily life. It empowers the relationship because you feel like you are one unit, you are beautiful together. You empower each other with the individuality, like you make each other shine. But it goes even further. You may feel this beautiful belief, beautiful teachings, what many religions, many teachings are sharing as a belief. You may experience as a real experience this, that we all one in this beautiful state, what they call nirvana, satori, samadhi, that there is no separation, no duality, that you are the one with even the divine. You can feel, you may feel as breathing with the Mother Earth. You may feel as ocean waves are like blood floating in your body. You may feel like the plants are growing like the hairs on your body. You are one with the divine. The divine is you. You are one with the universe, with the love. The love is you. This you may feel through the real experience. And after experiencing it, you know it. And you are not believer anymore. When you know it, it's like it would be stupid if I would like to hurt you, because I know I'm hurting myself. It feels like that. I always compare, imagine like that you have anesthetic in your arm. Would you cut your arm? No, because you remember if you cut your arm, it will hurt after anesthetic is gone. Somehow, by the Babylon conditionings, we got some anesthetic that we forget that we are all one. And if I hurt you, it's also me who may feel the pain. Tantric experience, it brings us back into this wisdom. And I would rather uplift you. I would rather share with you the best thing what will make you happy. That's why we are teaching here, to make you happy, because your happiness is our happiness. This empowers you for your spiritual path big time. Even if you do not experience yet the cosmic orgasm, when you practice Tantra, some of you already notice, because Tantra is all about connection and love. It's naturally you become more healthy with your choices, not only for your own self, but also for the others, for the family, for your friends, for the people who sometimes you don't know.
Person that is doing the massage, you can help them sublimate the energy. So you can go, breathe with me, breathe, breathe. And until the person is come back down to, then start the massage again. But for the man lying there breathing, bring the energy up to the heart. We want you to use this technique. It's going to bring you on higher arousal, where you just like, whoa. We're doing the Chinese burn here. Then the next stroke is exactly similar, but we're using the rings of our fingers. So we're going then around, up to the top of the head of the lingam. And then when you go to the top, you go to the bottom and start again. And I go quite, it's almost like you can strangle the cock. Yep. You can go quite firm, always watching as well. Men, make sure that you communicate your pleasures today. Too hard, too slow, too soft. Don't let any passion killers get in the way of your massage.
Usually the men also have blockage on their throat and they don't ask what is the precise pressure. Most of the men would like to be stimulated harder. Say it. Please, can you do it a bit harder till you have exactly, because what's the point of she's doing all the best, we thinking that she's doing all the best and you think like, it could be hard.
It's
Say.
sexually frustrating.
Yes.
You want your pleasure.
Liberate your throat chakra, express what you wish, yeah.
So we go like this. So the next move is also to the typical wanking move. So you're going like this. Everybody knows this one. Yep. Just making sure that when you're pulling down, you're not pulling the foreskin and everything down. Be firm, but be mindful of that. Another one too is the shiatsu. So you can have the lingam lying down on the belly, and we're just going to massage, like we're giving a shiatsu massage. And I always look at it like the head of the penis and the full body. So you're giving a full body massage to the lingam. Yep, all over. Beautiful. Another one too is the imitation of the yoni. So making sure you have enough oil. Men too, if you feel like there's not enough oil, just say more oil, yeah? So we're going to make a fist like a yoni and go down the top of the head and slide your hands up and down. So it feels like a yoni.
You keep holding the foreskin down, but the slide is directly on the head.
Yep. So you're going like this. Beautiful. Next one that we do is we start to go up to the neck of the lingam. So just around the foreskin. Just pulling the foreskin down just gently, and start to make with your rings, just going around just under the head of the lingam, that neck part. Oh, it's almost like you're strangling in a way. Making sure you have enough oil and you're rubbing here around. This can be really, really, really pleasurable. Next one is you can then start to massage the neck, like you're giving a beautiful neck massage, but then to just under the head of the penis, and you're just massaging. Yeah. Next one too, then we go to the head of the penis, and then we have enough coconut oil on our palms, and we're just massaging on the palm, on the head. And this can be really, really pleasurable because there's so many nerve endings at the top and the tip of the penis. And another thing too, on the other side of the head of the penis is the skin, or where the foreskin meets the head of the penis. This is the heart chakra of the lingam. So we're just going to do figure eights around that skin, and just to activate the heart chakra of the lingam. Then the next one we call is Tommy Delight. So we're going to just focus our attention on the head, and we're going to squeeze the head like we're squeezing grapefruit. So we're just squeezing up like this, and this can be really, really fucking pleasurable for the man, this part. So men, you can adopt this in your self-pleasure practice as well. Yeah. Going like this. And you can go quite firm here too. Another one too that you can do is touching the eye of the penis. And we never put our fingers in a lingam massage, never put our fingers in the urinary hole. Make sure we have a lot of oil, making sure you don't use any nails or any sharp parts of the finger, and we're just going to massage the eye of the lingam. Another one you can do as well is raindrops, and just going up and down the lingam. So there's so many techniques that we're going to be teaching you this afternoon.
Few words about different nuances before the question and answers. The orgasmic points by the man is perineum, is the muscle between the testicles and the anus. It looks like prolongation of the lingam, especially when the lingam is erected. So this is, you heard from my story, orgasmic area. Within this area, there is another spot what gives you different but other orgasmic experience. It's $1 million point. It's more way, halfway in the middle of the perineum, more closer to anus than to the testicles. And you may find it when you press very, very hard. You go from the anus, you press very, very hard, and then you will drop into the hole between the bones. It's not a physical hole like anus, but it's between the bones.
You can feel like tendons. It's like two tendons, and maybe like this.
Yeah.
You can actually drop in. So we'll teach you this afternoon.
This is another orgasmic area what can give you amazing, never-ending tantric orgasm. Basically, with many of the men, you can indirectly massage his G-spot. So for those who are close for the anal stimulation, you may have your G-spot healed in this way. Not so efficiently like with the penetration, but still, it's alternative. About the $1 million point, I would like to also add here a bit confusion what it's going around by misunderstanding. Mantak Chia, it's a great sexual Dao master, is one of the best teacher of sexual Dao. Big bow to him and his wisdom, what he shared and he keep sharing with the humanity. However, he wrote in his book that there is some old sexual Dao way of using it as an emergency brake method, what it's stopping the ejaculation. It's by pressing this $1 million point. And basically you put the dam on the pipe that the ejaculation cannot physically explode the lingam because it's stopped by your pressure on the way from the testicles to the outside of the lingam. However, through the people using it with the years of experiencing it, in the tantric circles, this method it's wrong. If you ever hear someone stopping ejaculation either by pressing this $1 million point or by squeezing your PC muscles or squeezing your legs on the routine way, it's very wrong. It brings the complication. So don't do that. Don't mistaken that you are actually doing any tantra. You may have higher ecstasy from just pressing the $1 million point, and by saving 40% of the energy what you will lose otherwise, but you still lose another 60 and you bring yourself a lot of complications. So whoever does it, don't. But knowing this, also don't mistaken, massaging the $1 million point for the reason of having the $1 million point orgasm, it's very good, yes? Only don't do it for the reason to stop ejaculating. Few more things what Trish will tell you, great tips during the practice itself. She will encourage you in a beautiful way, but for those who will be not ready to jump into the practice, I will give you a few advice. When you give the Lingam massage, approach it with full enthusiasm. It's also the chance to liberate yourself from the shame and guilt. I always tell to the women when they are massaging at the workshop structure, when there are more than one woman massaging in the same place, you are creating already beautiful sacred sisterhood, sacred sexuality circle where you both or more encourage each other, empower each other to liberate yourself from shame, guilt, what thousands of year patriarchal system put on the woman and the man as well. Go into this liberation. We encourage you even to go into the archetypes what are so forbidden and suppressed by this patriarchal system. So go into your seduceress. Go to the archetype of slut. Enjoy the pleasure. As more you will enjoy the pleasure, your man also will feel like this ecstasy will circulate and you will feel more pleasure. Go into the full liberation. Maybe go also into archetype of your child. Imagine that you got finally instructions like Trisha just gave you to this favorable toy what can give you so much enthusiasm, and with this new wisdom you can enjoy, like the children got the toy at the Christmas what they always waited. Enjoy, go for it, have a pleasure, have a fun, really feel the joy. Joy is one of the most blissful God-like experience what we have to enjoy life and to have love to each other more and more.
And for the men too, to receive as much as you can today in your massage. Like, receive this love, receive yourself, allow your pleasures to come through your body, and allow guilt and shame. Just releasing it today. Today is the day to release it, to release all the conditionings of hard cock, soft cock, performing. It's got to look good. Just allow this beautiful healing to take place today.
One thing for the man, it's also important in the tantric massage. Allow yourself just to receive. You don't have to give the strokes back. You don't have to do anything. Just allow yourself to receive, to feel like a god. So that's why in tantric massage, to encourage the man to this experience, we do not allow the man to give this active stroke at the massage. If the masseuse allow you to rest her hand on any part of the body, you may rest your hand and keep it there without any action. But beside of this, you don't stroke back. You like to go into this yin aspect of yourself, what many of the men are suppressing it so much, because we are conditioned to be always in charge, always do something, and especially in sex, be active, do things, be the one who is doing. And if you allow yourself just to receive, do nothing, you will be able to receive experience of your another half of your universe.
And also too, this is an amazing foreplay during lovemaking, maybe after, but implement this into lovemaking as well.
As we are saying, for the lovers, for the conscious couples, tantric massage in any form. It can be foreplay, it can be middle play, it can be after play, so you may enjoy it. So I guess that if we will remind something, maybe we'll say, but now the questions. Yes, please.
Amor, 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 es amor, 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 más amor, 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 es amor, amor.